Sympathy and empathy are two different things. Guys, it's Dan Greer with Forge. I'm coming at you today for your 5-minute power up. In a day we're chatting all about the difference between sympathy and empathy. So, first off, what is sympathy? Sympathy is when I feel bad for somebody because of the situation they're in or what they're going through. Empathy is when I feel for them, no matter where they're at in life, no matter what's going on. I want to encourage you to never be sympathetic to somebody else because sympathy is just not what people need to be successful. As a leader, you don't want to be sympathetic to them. And somebody just got mad and turned this podcast off. I guarantee it because of that. Somebody clicked out of this video because they're like, I don't want to, this guy's full of crap. How can you not have sympathy for people? Well, hear me out. Sympathy creates excuses. Excuses is like feeding wildlife. They become dependent on you to feed them. They stop learning how to forage on their own. Same thing with like welfare. You give somebody a check for life. You know what happens? They don't go out and get a job. They don't try to work. That's not why the program was created. It was created to help people get back up, give them a hand up, not a hand down, not a handout. It's turned into a handout because people don't actually want to work once they get on it. Literally had somebody one time said, they're like, I make more money on welfare than I did when I was working. Why would it's stupid for me to take this other job. I make more money off the government than I do working here. No, you take the job because that's the right thing to do. That tells you we have a problem in our government, but I digress. That is sympathy. That program has turned into a sympathetic program. It was created for empathy. I feel bad for somebody. I want to help them. Sympathy is completely different. I feel bad for what they're going through. They're not trying to improve themselves. I want to make them feel better about themselves or some crap like that. I want you to think about that for a second. Because some of you got upset when I said stop being sympathetic. But the truth is, if you're sympathetic to the people you work with, to the people you lead, you're not actually winning, you're losing. Because when you do that, when you become sympathetic to them, you're enabling them. You're feeding the wildlife. And when you're empathetic is, man, I understand you are going through a hard time right now. What can I do to help you stay on track with where you're currently at? What can I help you do to be successful here? Not, here's a handout. Right? Empathy is, man, you struggle with leadership. You should read this book by Dan Greer called Grit, Grease, and Grace. You're struggling with communication. You should read this book by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. You're struggling, you should blank. Sympathy is trying to give them the answer so they don't have to learn it. Empathy is helping them learn the solution so it doesn't continue to happen time after time after time after time after time. Do you hear what I'm saying? See where I'm coming from here? So that's what I want you to realize. That's what I want you to understand. When I tell you not to be sympathetic, I'm not telling you not to feel bad for people. What I'm asking you to do is not to give them a free handout, but instead offer them a hand up. Sympathy is handouts. Empathy is a handout. And what happens is most of the time empathy turns into sympathy. And people think they're helping, but instead of helping, they're enabling. They're no longer empowering people, they're enabling them. When you enable somebody, it's feeding the wildlife. You feed the rabbit carrots every single day, what happens? The rabbit stops learning how to eat for himself. He keeps coming back to the food. You stop giving him the food, he dies because there's no food there. He'd be in a green field of alfalfa. And because he's waiting for you to give him carrots to eat, he's not going to eat the alfalfa. Because they're too used to having it handed to them on a silver platter. As a leader, too often we give people the solution instead of helping them find it. So what I want to do is I want to encourage you to guide people to the solution. Not give them the solution, not say this is what you're going to do. Say, what would you do? And pause and wait. Guys, That's it. That's your 5-minute power up. Get out there, be strong, be tough, get forged. And remember, grab a copy of my book, Grit, Grease, and Grace, Leadership Forged in the Trenches. You can get it from gritgreasegrace.com. We'll talk to you later.